This is a short video showing how to put the Laowa probe lens together down on Digger Alley at RSPB Minsmere. This is the Canon R5 that I'm using. It's a mirrorless body, which gives it some advantages and some disadvantages, but that's for another video. This is the Laowa probe lens. You can see it's a completely manual lens. You can adjust the focus and the aperture on the lens itself. Just coming down here, this is a little 22mm pipe clip. I use it really just to support the end of the lens. You can slide up and down and you can vary where exactly the lens is when you're using it on the ground. Down on the end here, there's another little addition. This one is a little O-ring, it's a little rubber O-ring. And once again, it's just to keep the end of the lens off the ground so it doesn't get too scratched by any sharp stones and the like. This is the Feelworld monitor that I'm using. It's a 7-inch monitor and it's an ultra bright screen. You can use the camera's own screen, but this is much brighter and it's a lot bigger obviously. It helps to keep things in focus. It helps me to show visitors what's going on with the camera or playback films and things like that. I'm using the ultra bright one because down here on Digger Alley it gets very sunny and hot in the sun, and the normal monitors are just not really up to the task. First cable to plug in. This is a little remote for the camera. It just enables me to avoid using the button on the top. Every time you touch the camera you're going to move it slightly, so this works fine. You can get little wireless remote ones as well, but I find that the wired one is absolutely fine for my uses. Two cables go in the side of the camera, as you can see here. The first one is the HDMI, this one. That's going to go into the Feelworld monitor. That's how the camera talks to that monitor. The second one, this one here, this is a little USB cable. Now the R5, as being a mirrorless camera, does chew up the old batteries rather quickly. So rather than buying lots and lots of expensive Canon batteries and having to replace them every an hour or so, I've actually run the camera through the RSB and powered it with a USB power bank, and that seems to work absolutely fine for me. It will power the camera all day without any problems, without any worrying about running out of camera battery and all the rest of it. So that seems to be a very successful way of driving the thing. This is the typical power bank. This one's a RAV power one, but it doesn't really matter too much. The important thing is to make sure it's got a USB PD port. The PD port is very important because unless it's pumping out full wattage, you will not be able to drive the camera. It actually charges the battery in the camera from this power bank, so it's a great way to maintain your battery without access to a power source, but it does also mean that you've got to get the right power bank. So if you're thinking about doing something like this, do check all the specs and make sure you've got the right thing. This last little lead, it's another USB lead, but this one is actually used to drive the probe's LED. The probe itself has got an LED on the front end. You can see it there, little LED ring light on the front end, and this one plugs in here and will power that ring light. This is a little on-off switch for it, and you can take the brightness up and down depending on what you want to do. And now you can see little light is on, little light is off, little light back on again. It does help to put the lighting right down where you need it, right down at ground level, and that makes a big difference, especially on a day like today where it's a little bit overcast and the sun is going to be going in and out behind the clouds. So here we are, we've got the camera all plugged in, it's now turned on. There you go. It's found a little hole. That's going to be my subject, at least for a little while. So it's all plugged in, all sorted out, all waiting. Here's the monitor. You can see on the monitor here, hopefully, the view that I get. The little blue piece, the little blue marks, that is a focus assist, and you can see here it's moving in and out, and it just tells me what is in focus and what's not in focus. And that's one of the real reasons for using a field monitor as well. The camera will do this on the screen, its own inbuilt screen, but obviously with the bigger one it's much simpler. But it does allow you to get everything pre-focused and ready so that when the insect comes along you've already got the focus in the right place. Two extra big batteries on this one. You can see on the back here, there's another reason I got this particular monitor, because it would take two batteries, which is obviously much easier than taking one battery and keep swapping it around and recharging it and so on. Two batteries will keep me going all day without any problems at all. So there we are. All I've got to do now is sit and wait. Oh, in fact, look, there you go. There's a little Just gonna just see the antenna there, so let's start recording. And there we go. Yep, it says record. We are recording, and with a bit of luck you'll be able to see there's my subject in the hole. And I moved the phone too close so it dived away. Never mind. I shall be here all day, so I'm sure I'll get something.